Folktales of Hawaii, He Mau Ka'au Hawaii, collected and translated by Mary Kavena Pukui, with Laura C.S. Green.
The Wiliwili trees of Pā'ula. There were 4 daughters born to their mother. Moholani the firstborn, next Wiliwili Oheohe, then Wiliwili Pe'ape'a, and last of all Wiliwili Kuapu'u. Moholani was the most beautiful of them, for the beauty of Wiliwili Oheohe was marred by baldness, and Wiliwili Pe'ape'a had a mass of tangled hair which tossed here and there when the wind blew. As for Wiliwili Kuapu'u, the hunchbacked one, we can see from her name that she lacked beauty altogether. Moholani was the only one who was married. She had one child named Kawila Makeho Kaleni, which means lightning flashing from the heavens. This son was given into the care of the gods to be brought up in Kuaihelani, the land hidden in the clouds. Moholani's husband often went to a point on the seashore, where he was seen and admired for his vigorous bearing by certain women kupua of the sea. They endeavored to ensnare him. Ahikanana was the name of one of these women, and Ahikahuli of the other. They seized every opportunity to tempt him by chanting songs of the sea and relating tales of the deep blue ocean. Finally, bewitched by their wiles, he plunged into the sea and accompanied them to the cavern at the ocean floor. After waiting long for her husband to return, Moholani went in search of him to every place she knew, and those who had seen him told her of his being ensnared by the enchantresses. So as she neared the spot where her sisters lived, she called, "O Wiliwili Oheohe, listen, come to my aid. O Wiliwili Oheohe, come to my aid. Do you know if my husband has been carried away by Ahikanana and Ahikahuli to the place where the little stones rattle?" But Wiliwili Oheohe looked at her crossly and answered, "Ugh, he is a big, worthless man. I do not know where your husband is." Moholani walked on, weeping, to the second sister and called, "O Wiliwili Pe'ape'a, listen, come forth. O Wiliwili Pe'ape'a, come forth. Do you know if my husband has been carried away by Ahikanana and Ahikahuli to the place where the little stones rattle?" But Wiliwili Pe'ape'a answered like her older sister, "Ugh, he is a big, worthless man. I do not know where your husband is." Moholani went on to the home of her youngest sister and cried out the same words, but she got no different answer than from her other sisters. For Wiliwili Kuapu'u said, "Ugh, he is a big, worthless man. I do not know where your husband is." Now, Moholani, perceiving that she was to get no sympathy from her sisters, sought her son, requesting the gods who were his foster parents to allow him to leave them. Kawila, upon hearing his mother's lament, went forth to seek his father. When Ahikanana and Ahikahuli refused to relinquish their lover, the boy's wrath flashed forth. Because of their obstinacy, he changed his body into a lightning flame, and at the glancing of this lightning on the ocean floor, the women were cut into pieces and transformed so that from them come all that kind of fish called mackerel. Gone forever was their power to tempt other women's husbands, for they were now nothing but fishes. Because of their unkindness to Moholani, the 3 sisters were transformed into Wiliwili trees. Because Wiliwili Oheohe was bald, she became a tree which was almost leafless. Wiliwili Pe'ape'a became a tree whose leaves flutter in the whispering breeze. And as Wiliwili Kuapu'u was a hunchback, her trunk became crooked. As for Moholani's husband, he refrained from wandering again, for he realized that he had a son whose anger, once aroused, could not be assuaged.